what do we have here? Oh, it's Garneau, Louis Garneau, componentry, Ultegra, full carbon, awesome little wheels. Hey, this is going to be a fun repair. It's in for a tune-up. Going to do a drivetrain clean, maybe a couple cables replaced if need be. Do a little bit of frame detailing on this, and yes, these are awesome little bikes. They made bikes for several years. They're usually really known for their gloves and clothing line and helmet, but they did make a bike series here. Looking at a componentry, you're probably looking at I'd say a 2010, 2011 model, not too terribly old. Original owner bought it, got in road riding, and here it is. So we're going to be also doing a little bit of a drivetrain clean with a wax chain replacement, as the chain is stretched on this guy. And it had some shifting up front, and we're going to go over a couple other things that we're going to do to this bike. Without further ado, let's dive into this tune-up and give it the love that it needs after this.
Welcome to I Know a Guy Bicycles, hanging out with the guy. Hi, I'm Justin the Guy. Obviously I have a garage shop. Take scary out of used, one bike at a time. If you want to be kept up to date on latest projects and topics, please like and subscribe.
Hey, welcome back to I Know a Guy Bicycles, hanging with the guy. Hey, I'm Justin the Guy on this old bike series. Check it out. Yeah, so let's go Garneau Gennix R1. If I'm saying that wrong, please comment below. In any case, it's a full carbon frame, fork, Shimano wheel set, the RS 31s or something like that. And it comes with Ultegra componentry, 11 speed. Oh, you know what that means? Cranksets are under their warranty. It's not warranty. It's kind of what their volunteer warranty. That's what they're phrasing it as. Basically, you need to have them checked every 6 to 12 months at your local Shimano dealer bike shop to have the serial number run through, registered, in addition to inspected, making sure it's not delaminating. They made those particular cranks for, I think, about 8 years within a time span, and affects the Ultegra 11 speed as well as the Dura-Ace 11 speed. The Dura-Ace is both crank and left crank arm is affected on those. On the Ultegras, are mainly looking for the right, but it's always good to bring in both if you're taking it apart, or you can just take the bike in and they'll do it for you, take it all off and all that. But in any case, I will be taking this to my local shop that is a Shimano dealer, because I'm a guy in a garage and corporations don't like to have contracts with us little peoples. So anyway, whatever. Not talking bad about them, but I'm saying it could have been done better. But in any case, this particular bike, I'm going to have a double check for the customers having it tuned up. With that particular tune-up, includes drivetrain clean. And we found that the chain is a little stretched, and he opted to go with the pre-wax chain, which is going to be quite beneficial experience, because he's been saying he's been having shifting issues. Well, this particular Ultegra has a more of a ramping style front derailleur. I don't know why they decided to go this direction, because they thought it was a great idea at the time, and they've gone differently since then to a little bit more complicated. But this one has like this high ramp, and it pops up at kind of a weird leverage. I think it was really designed for quick action when you needed to shift it up or shift it down. I don't know. I mean, in any case, overcomplicated a simple device which was working, tested, tried, and true within the Ultegra series 6600 and 6500. The 6700 made it a little more challenging. But in any case, nor here nor there, but we're going to fix that. And hopefully that front shifting issue that he was complaining about is not the crankset, but we'll have those inspected as well. The carbon frame, pretty cool. Not really sure whether these are made out of, or I know they're made out of carbon, but made out of what facility. But coming with his Shimano wheels. This does have Dura-Ace brakes on it, so it seemed like they had maybe an upgrade in the brakes, which is kind of cool, because the rest of it's Ultegra except for the wheels, which are RS 31s. But in any case, pretty slick looking bike. It looks kind of like a look model bike. Has the T3 componentry, as in bits like stem and bars. The seat post is the same. There we go. So that's your aftermarket parts on that. I'm also going to take a look at his bar tape. It looks like it's still pretty good condition, but it just needs to be rewrapped. As you see how it's kind of unfolding here. So I'm going to kind of do it very lightly because some of these can stick. And it's also the original, I believe. No, it's just service core. Look like Lisker now. A zip particular style. And clean this stuff up. That's just gets me in the wrong way. In any case, it does have press fit bearings, so we're going to be checking those. Very similar to the Trek BB90s. This might be a BB92. I'll have to double check that. If those bearings just do one of these bloop, then we got a problem. Then we'll have to see if there's any kind of correction I need to do to reinstall that. Hubs and the wheels are pretty straightforward. They are a little less spokes, bladed with the bigger alloy nipples, which I have a bigger tool to do those. So if you're doing a tune-up yourself and that kind of thing, you may have to invest in some specialty parts to work on this specific bike. Everything else is pretty much standard to my knowledge, with the Allen wrenches and so forth. He does have quick releases, but he has them on the right side of the bike, which is not really preferred standard way. You want to put them on the left side for the quick release. Means you don't want to fight this cable and housing in the back to do such a thing, that kind of deal. Nice little saddle. So this individual has moved from out of state to Colorado. Colorado is a mile high and kind of high arid climate, and we've, coming from where I believe it was more humid, so I'm going to be checking for those humid rusts and that kind of thing, which I'm not expecting, but you never know. I've seen, I had a video before of a full carbon Trek. It popped the headset because it was indexing and it was all rusty, and then proceeded to the bottom bracket and it was a hot mess. So you never know sometimes. Like, whoa, the front is very smooth and the crank is very smooth too. So I don't foresee any major issues on this one, but it can. You never know. You just never know what it's going to come across, that kind of thing. So without further ado, we're going to at least pop this drivetrain apart here, get it cooking in the ultrasonic cleaner, which reminds me I better plug it in. I always unplug it after I'm not using it. Turn on the heating element, so after a few cycles to get it up to temperature. Another trick is you drain it, refresh it with fresh water and a mix of whatever dilution from the hot sink. That's another way of doing it. It's a little warm today, so we're looking about 82 degrees in the shop area, so I will probably do a stint of this, go through the cranks, and we'll do a review of the parts and what I'll have to take the crank down to be inspected and do a follow-up on that and see how the rest of this bike turns out. But in any case, without further ado, let's dive into the drivetrain and pull the crank and see what kind of mysteries on this particular one we may find. All right, I'm going to take a look and see. This chain is become very, very coated. just needless to say, extremely coated. So we're looking at, and this is why wax is so beneficial, because when you keep on applying lube after lube, it just becomes this sticky, hot mess. Not just here just to be a promo for waxing your chain and so forth, but it definitely does make this not happen, because you don't keep reapplying, and if you do, it's with wax direct only, and in that case, it's a lot cleaner, and whatever is not needed, it sheds off and goes away. So I will be keeping this chain for measurements reasons, but other than that, I'm not going to clean this or waste my time cleaning it. It has stretched, so that is a nice gooey mess. So it goes to the U factor, goes to the U pile, and yikes. This does have that particular cables I might want to save. I may replace them. We'll see. See, these are the kind that Specialized was using. Just gouged my glove. And it does fuzz, or I think it fuzzes out inside. So we'll double check that. And these also have that high pivot point, so really aggressive angle on that to pull that out. And we're going to take this out and see if we need to replace this. Yeah, it doesn't like got some of that fuzz stuff, and that I don't know. It may get the love of new cables and housing for sure. So let's get this derailleur. Well, before I completely take it off, it's going to be easier to do the scrape. What I mean by the scrape, check this out. So get your flathead screwdriver in there and just peel off all this excess gunk. Oh boy, there we go. That's what you want to get rid of prior to putting an ultrasonic cleaner, because you're just fighting a hot gooey mess. Then you do the upper pulley. That was the lower one. Then find a place where you can leverage that flathead screwdriver. Get as much as that is off. And if you do it on the bike, it's sometimes a little bit easier to do than doing it by hand. Let's see how well that fared. Let's see. Not too terrible. Definitely get some extra cleaning on that. That's a little extra put. See, it just gunks up everywhere. It's just nasty. And now we're going to take the wheel off. Quick release. This drops out. Take that skewer. It's a nice fancy high-end colored coated skewer to match. We're going to put this in ultrasonic cleaner to clean. And we're going to show you how, since it has a super hot cake mess, prior to, since I know that it's caked on there, I'm going to see if I can wire brush some of this built up off prior to soaking it in simple green. So if you get like the big chunks off, that makes it a little bit easier to clean. Then you're not doing it afterwards as much. And put your chain whip on there, flush on your lock ring, and whoop, put some muscle into it. That one wasn't actually too tight. Not too terrible. I have to put my tools away so I'm not fighting them on my bench, and bam, that's how we get that all cleaned. I will probably put that in a baggie to concentrate clean that. Onto the front derailleur. Make sure it's knocked down to the smallest. I'm being mindful what I touch with my soaked gloves. You see how that cable is routed? You want to keep that in mind. It's reversed routed by design. There's a little arrow showing that. Not up and over, through. And that's supposed to give some weird ramping. Kind of just, it's like super hard and all of a sudden it gives. I'm not a fan, but I can get it to work though. So we're going to get this front derailleur free, give it a good ultrasonic cleaning as well. Hopefully lubing those pivots and getting all this dirt and contaminants out of the way might help it with its performance factor. And since I'm going to be doing the cranks, I'm going to pop the pedals off and take the crank in to be inspected. All right, this is where things may get a little weird. Hopefully not, but in past history, things like this can get quite bizarre, and we'll give us a good look-see. So you need a Allen, which is getting completely dirty, and you need a good catch. Basically, it's a adjuster nut with a hook. I'll have comments or have it in below. This is the Park tool version. Newton meters on these are 12 to 14, I believe is stamped at. So you want to unscrew both these sides. This is a press bearing system, so it presses right into the frame. Instead of the other style is like your cup system that you thread in. They do have various conversions. Wheels Manufacturing has some different conversions to help eliminate the issues they had. Trek followed suit on these, where the bearings were fitting right in the carbon, and then lo and behold, the carbon would waddle out, and then they would be like, oh, our fix is a bigger bearing, and that's the BB90. I don't know if this is stamped BB90 or not, but that's what it's looking like. So there's your adjuster on that. Give that a little bit of a cleaning, and there's a little hooky thing to pop this portion out. It's a pin that goes inside there. This will need to be cleaned up and inspected too. And what they're inspecting is like the seam where it's put together, and they'll take the chain rings off to inspect that seam too. When they start failing, the note is they start creaking and making some weird noises and not shifting correctly, i.e. what this gentleman was talking about, as in having issues. So we're going to push this through, and there's your crankset. Visually right now I'm not seeing anything. It is dirty, so I'm going to pre-wash this for those mechanics to take a look at, even though they're going to probably wash it too. But that's what, you know, washing is not included with the inspection, but since I know these guys pretty well, worked with some of them in the past, therefore they give me a little extra something for the expertness. Plus, your bike shops shouldn't give you too much flack, because they are getting paid by Shimano for inspection of each crankset, so they're getting a little kickback from them. And the benefit of this, I mean, if there's any silver lining, is since it's on warranty, it's no longer just 2 years against manufacturer defect warranty. It's now basically lifetime, since it's now under the recall. So with that recall, they have to warranty it. So if this crank fails in 10 years from now, you get a new crank. And I've seen that with other recalls, so I know for a fact that's how it works. There was a recall of like 3 different batches of cranksets back in the day. It was a hell to pay. It was caught right at the first 2 years of the production run. And even today, if you come across it, you'll go to Shimano. They don't like it, but they'll send you not just the crank. They have to send you the whole bottom bracket, drivetrain, and front derailleur, because the cranks don't match that, so you have to convert the whole drivetrain. So it's a big sting on their part, which they even are still dealing with today. All right, the bearing feels good, and it's staying secure. It's not bloop, popping out. This one feels really smooth too, just getting that layer of gunk off. So I think the bearings is a win. So this opens up this area here, so I can give it some good loving. Oh man, we got some sticky stuff underneath here from road debris that shoots up from tar and what have you. Chip seal. Let's see, this is where I call the scary part of the bike, because you don't really see it, but this is where you can find some unknown damages. A little stickiness there. I found a couple cracked carbon frames when I was refurbishing some of the bikes, going that process. So yeah, actually not too bad. So this is actually technically made in China, stickers right there. So whatever facility in China, most likely a giant facility, but I'm not sure, that was making these. And got a serial number, which is still good. And while we're here, we're just going to pop this wheel, do the quick release, pull it out. We'll clean the skewer and inspect the hub, adjust the hub, trailer. Oh, the headset's really loose, so I have to check that out too, see what's going on there. I might pull the brakes because they're pretty gunked up. Ultrasonic cleaner just cleans up stuff like that really well. And see, you can see that. Yeah, that's a little like wall paint that fell over in the garage. So we'll take a little bit of cleaner. Also, these derailleurs had a weird plate put in. I don't know, it's just funky. Anywho, we will give this a super cleaning, inspection, adjusting, maybe some new cables and housing here and there. Yeah, probably going to do the cables and housing, which means I got to rewrap that bar anyway. It's probably, I'm an extra mile. It's one of those things that I'm not going to just sit here and be short. I mean, you can see the fuzz. I don't know if you can see that, but the fuzz on these, they use these on specialized bikes too for a period of time. That fuzz out inside the housing, which that goes counterintuitive to what it's supposed to be doing. It's supposed to be smooth. Yeah, it's a good idea, but they fuzz out and they cause a friction, which you're not wanting friction, especially in shifting, because shifting is so precise. That's definitely something you don't want to deal with. Rim wells look good. I mean, not too much worn there. Hub feels pretty good. Yeah, I didn't check but I'll double check it, you know. Give it a good cleaning. Looks like it has a Garmin little setup, so I don't want to interfere with that too much. But here we go. Let's check this out. Parts cleaning time. Okay, so we're going to get to a point here. We're going to do a little fast forward, but got my tank warming up. It's at 27 Celsius. It's going to get up to 50. I don't cook these parts in full temperature anyway with the coating. With this particular coating, if you do a super hot, super concentrated, it can take this coating off. So you got to be careful with that. So I start with the parts with more closer to room temperature. I have to clean the derailleurs and the crank. Then when I need to do more intense for the chain rings, the cassettes, or mainly the cassettes, I go to more with heated concentration. So there lies my trick on something that you don't want to be worried about the finish on a particular part. Don't utilize the heating element until you know what kind of issues you may have. So I do a little bit of carb cleaner first to kind of help break stuff up a little bit in there. Then I'll be putting simple green concentrate. Fill up the bag, not all the way, just enough to cover the cranks on that. And also I do like to spray as much as I can and scrub a little bit if it has chunkies. This one has chunkies, so I need to get those chunkies off for it to do its proper cleaning. And the rear derailleur might go through a couple times. But I want to get all that stuff softened up as much as possible, or broken off on the bigger chunks. Doing those pulleys again with the brush here, so it has the best opportunity of cleaning with a shorter period of time. And because I don't want to compromise the finish on this one, if I'm going to be cooking it. Some finishes you can just keep cooking and cooking and cooking. See, there's a ridge of gunk grease on there. I want that all off before I put on a new chain, waxed or not waxed alike. Just any new chain, or if even the chain was still good, you want all that stuff off, making sure it has the best performance possible, and that kind of inhibits the flow of the pulleys and that kind of thing. So, all right, and this is what I do. See that bag? I drop it in there, but the bag, I slowly put it in and let it vacuum close, so it gets pretty much all those parts individualized, coated. and the ultrasonic will work through the plastic bag. And I need a new glove. This is what we need to get rid of. So while the parts are cleaning, I'll do the wheels, I'll detail the frame. I might pull those brakes to give those a cleaning too. There's a lot of dust parts and so forth in there. Get this off. Feels like I'm burning with chemical burn. In any case, check out these parts. Let's review the crank after it's been inspected. Do a review of the wheels, and we'll go from there. Oh, where do I start? Here we have it. Those Ultegra cranks, 11-speed, that are under the voluntary recall have been inspected and passed. And we got our Dura-Ace brakes all clean and skewers, cassette, front and rear derailleur all nice and polished. I'm going to do a wax chain here, a SRAM 11-speed. And wham! Look at how clean and shiny, true, hubs adjusted, tire dressed, ceramic coating rims, spokes, and hubs. Yeah, that's pretty, they're pretty nice, pretty sharp. And zap, there we go. I got the ceramic coating on there, I just haven't knocked it down yet. Gonna be doing that here in a moment, give it a little more time to dry. Cure, flash, whatever they want to use their buzzword for, but look how clean that has turned out. Some super gunk from chain lube and chain, and oh, let's say underneath had some crazy like road tar pickup, and that all came off, so that came up really clean. You notice it has an internal cabling underneath there, and a chain stay protector for dropping the chain. A lot of bikes have that. So that is it. Let's review, and after the review, go for a test ride. Yeah, I'm ready to do the knockdown. Yeah, the WWE. No, just kidding. Not into that at all. Just gonna knock down the actual ceramic coating that is. Yeah, that's turned out pretty good. There are some scratches on there. If he wanted to do the upgraded tune-up next time, we can probably try to do a little polishing of that, buffing those out. I got a lot of the major scuffs out by just sheer cleaning and getting that gunk off, where a lot of people, that's all they really want, is just kind of get the major boo-boos kind of addressed. And this will definitely protect the decaling and ceramic coating. It's really good to do versus wax, because the ceramic coating is going to have a lot more UV protection, and it also beads up water pretty well. I mean, a lot of that is with the wax properties too, but to treat or keep the ceramic going longer, you can use a color crush from lithium. And what this does is kind of hydrate that ceramic and get it. It's a SiO2 quick detailer. Anyway, what it does is helps build up another layer of protection on top of the ceramic. It's like a, addition to ceramic protection, prolonging. And granted, a ceramic on a road bike, let's say, cars are out there quite a bit more, a lot more abuse. Road bikes, they do get some, you get caught in the rain, what have you, but I can almost say that a lot of those ceramic coatings, even the inexpensive ones, are designed to last a year, maybe two. The high-end ones, which is like the hard shell, like hard candy from lithium, or the graphene, like the little bottle, it's super expensive, so it's lasts up to 5 years, that kind of thing. Well, I almost... It's indoors. If you clean it after you're done riding it, when you got into contaminants and that kind of thing, like a rainstorm, what have you, you kind of address it right off the bat, and you use some of this color crush periodically to spot clean it, wash it down, get it to bring that shine back from the ceramic coating. It'll probably last you, 2 to 3 years. So if you have that full detailing tune-up done with everything, it's going to last you for a year or two. And usually, a good tune-up like that will last you a couple seasons. You might need a refresher the following season to double check on shifting, brakes, touch up, that kind of thing. But for all in all, what I've been seeing on the tune-ups that I've been providing, maybe because it's just me, not to toot my own horn, but whatever the case, it seems the tune-ups hold for a couple years for those who've been actually riding pretty consistently, not super aggressive. So if you're one of those who do a lot of miles, yes, you're going to do those once a year tune-ups to get refreshed, maybe twice. If you're doing that many miles, it definitely warrants it. But if you're just a recreational rider, you might be able to get by 2 years. But every year, or pretty much every ride, you want to do your ABCs. Check your air, check your brakes, check your chain, shifting, and so forth. And just make sure it's a safe ride when you go out. Either than that, if you notice anything that's tripping up or whatever, or you're starting to wear out your chain, or bar tape gets gunky, or the cables get all kinked up, or whatever the case may be, then you might want to fold it into a tune-up to have it elevated to a better performance level at the end of the day. But in any case, let me finish wrapping this up. It shouldn't take too long, and then we can go take for a quick test ride. I'm really interested in how this bike feels. Full carbon fork. I mean, I know how a lot of the carbon bikes ride, Trek, Specialized, various others, Cannondales, that I've ridden. I'm on a Le Mans right now, full carbon. So it'll be interesting to see what this one compares to those. That's if I can just pick it up on the actual test ride. And this has also the internal shifting Ultegra, which I personally have the 105 on my pop rod cyclocross bike. So very similar stuff. So we're going to try this. Once I get everything dialed in and I know it's shifting good, I'm going to re-wrap those bars so they're not so, I think I can resave them. So we'll see after this. Yeah, time to break the garage door seal and take this bad boy out for a test ride. Finished it up, cleaned up the frame, drivetrain's clean, added the details of red cable ends, smooth, shifts great. Also rewrapped the current tape on there so it's a little more appropriate, not gapping. Also took some lithium cleaner, which is this all surface cleaner to clean the bar tape. Cleaned it off really well and used the ceramic slam to add a nice shine to the brake hoods and so forth. Look how clean, it almost looks new. I mean, this tape, after I cleaned it with that all surface cleaner, I'm highly impressed how clean that worked. All right, let's go take this bad boy for a spin. Make sure I get this so it's not dingle-dangling around. All right. I have to navigate through my busy shipping Monday. Take this for a good ride. All right. Wish me luck. Let's see how this carbon feels compared to other Trek and Specialized carbons I've had before. This gentleman's nearly my size, so this should be pretty good. Apples to apples comparison. But man, you can see how the reach, he has a pretty long stem on here for my taste. This frame's a little bit bigger for me, actually. But man, ooh, real smooth. Man, yeah, I added a wax chain on it, so this is going to be really smooth once that wax chain breaks in. But actual feel feels snappy. Brakes are very responsive. Yeah, put some extra oomph into it. Get it to the big ring. Let's get some speed. Yeah, it's feeling really good. Checking the gears, making sure they all hit under load and pressure, especially with the new chain. I'm going to check the smaller ones especially. Make sure they don't jump. Definitely check that. Yeah, I had problems with the front shifting, so just want to
Make sure that is 100% dialed. Luckily for us, it wasn't the crankset under warranty that failed, but it's inspected, all clean. It could be the stretch chain and really gunkiness, but I think the cable adjustment on these get kind of out of whack pretty easily with this level of Ultegra 11 speed. So there we go. So let's give you a roadside sprint view. Digging deep. And this is snappy. Very impressed, and absorbs a lot of the road vibration. I got chip seals here, so I can definitely tell if it has vibration absorption qualities or not, because I ride one of the aluminum frames that I have or test riding, definitely feel it resonate through the actual frame. Wow, this is actually a pretty fun bike. I can't see why. This is pretty awesome. See one of these in the used market, don't hesitate to at least take a look at it and take for a ride. And let me tell you what, it has a pretty good snappy feel to it. Yeah, let's put it in front of these truck boxes, right? Yeah. There we go. Ultegra 11 speed. 11 in the back, 2 up front. Has Dura-Ace brakes. Shifts really smooth. It actually rides really smooth too. That seat's a little, not my style, or actually not my comfort. I'm not sure what the wave stands for, but it's probably the design of the carbon. With that, the wheels are very stiff. You can definitely feel it when you accelerate and pop. It actually goes. It's a slick bike. Awesome. Well, thanks for hanging out with me in the garage. Yeah, this is another installment of this little bike, and if you have bikes like this you've worked on or ridden and had yourself, please comment below. It's community. In addition to, I'll have other information in description as well. Oh yeah, that's why it's a little big. It's extra large. Yeah, and yeah, this is pretty awesome. So it's nice in your neck of the woods. Please go for a ride. Like here, it's almost 90 degrees, so a little toasty. But in any case, we'll get in a ride in earlier or later. And wow, well, another installment, and here we go. On to the next one. Well, thanks for hanging out with me in the garage. Until next time, have a wonderful day.